Hello basketball coaches and basketball players, my name is Alan from Al's Basketball Training, and today I'm going to show you some triangle basketball plays against a 3-2 zone defense. Okay, so here we have the beginnings of the triangle offense. Obviously this is a 4-out-1 in, but you go from a 4-out-1 in into a triangle. And then we also have the 3-2 zone defense, obviously not set up the way they should be just yet. So let's go and do that. So basically the defense will be looking more like this. From there, what we're going to have is player 1 passing player 3 the ball, and he's going to go down towards that low corner, and the defense is going to shift like this. Next, what we're going to be having is we're trying to get player 5 to front player 5 red, and we are going to now have player 3 pass the ball in to player 5, and we're going to be having player 3 screening down for player 1. Player 1 is going to be using that screen, and instead of cutting up towards this area where he normally would if this was a man-to-man defense, he's going to be cutting in towards the key. Because of that, player 5 should be able to get him the ball, and this will collapse the low post defenders. Now, one of two things are going to happen. We can have player 5 now rolling towards the basket, getting pretty well right underneath so that he can have an easy layup, and he might just have an easy layup. Or player 1 can now pass the ball out to player 4 for a mid-range or a three-point shot. Player 4 could also be cutting baseline, where now he may be open for a layup as well. Now in this second play, what we're going to have is player 1 passing over to player 3, and player 1 is going to be cutting down towards that low corner. Except what we're going to be having now instead is player 5 moving up first to set that screen on player 3, so that now player 1 should be wide open for the shot. Now, player 5 is going to have to recover because player 3 is not going to be able to get through. So in that case, what we're going to have is either player 1 having an open shot, or player 5 could be recovering out to try and help out that wing defender, and then we're going to have player 5 cutting or rolling towards the basket, where now player 5 should be open for that layup. So we're either going to have player 1 with an open shot or player 5 with an open layup. Now, if player 4 red comes over to play help defense, we could have player 4 blue cut down and maybe open on that other side, the weak side, for that layup. Now what we're going to have is a little bit of the motion offense that I normally run with all my teams. We're going to have player 1. He's going to pass over to player 3. He's going to cut down towards that low corner, and from there what we're going to have is, now let's say everything is covered, we couldn't run any of those set plays that we just ran. We're going to have player 2 cutting over. He's going to receive that pass. Now we're going to have player 4 go down to the low post, and player 5 and 4 setting screens. Next, what's going to happen is player 1 is going to now receive that ball up top, and he's going to now from there have player 3 cutting through as well, and cutting out towards that free throw line extended. At this time, we're going to be having player 1 passing over to player 3. He could be open for that shot. However, we're now going to be still running that triangle offense, and we're now back in that triangle on the right side. So now we may have player 1 open because we just swung the ball around the perimeter. If the defense can't get over fast enough to guard player 1 may be open for that three-point shot. And this is one of the ways that you can beat a zone defense in general, is by swinging the ball around the perimeter to try and get the defense to move from one side to the other, and this will now stretch the defense out and allow you to score more baskets. Another set play that can come from this is player 1 could pass to player 4 in the low post, and we can now have player 1 setting a screen for player 3 so that player 3 may be able to get open in this corner for a three-point shot as well. And when the defense is still trying to recover from that swing, the initial swing, actually it was player 3 in that corner, once player 3 receives that pass, we can now have player 1 set a screen, curl screen I call it, when he goes past the defender then turns and screens for player 3, and now player 3 could take that mid-range or three-point shot, and player 1 could be rolling towards the basket where he can get a nice floater as well, or he could even kick it out to player 5 for a shot as well. Now in this next basketball play, this is our fourth basketball play of 5. What we're going to be having is player 1 passing the ball into that low post. The idea behind this is to now set up player 1 with a screen from player 3. Instead of just cutting through and creating the triangle, what we're going to have is player 3 setting that screen. Player 1 is going to be going down towards that low corner. We're now in our triangle again, and player 1 may be open for that shot. Now, from there, what we can have is with player 2 coming down to guard player 1 red to come over and watch player 3, we can now have player 4, he can come up and set a screen for player 3. Player 3 can now be cutting towards the rim. If you can get him the ball just after that screen, that can collapse these two players and maybe even collapse player 5 a bit, so that now we may have player 5 blue on the weak side, or we could pass the ball back out to player 1 to get him an open shot. Now in our 5th and final play, we're going to have that triangle start all over again, and now we are going to go and do a little bit of a swing. However, what we're going to be doing is having player 5 set a screen for player 1, and we're going to be having player 1, he's going to be using that screen, he's going to be cutting across that high post. Now he could be open for that shot. However, what we're looking to do is have player 2 move over towards this side. We're going to now have player 4 pass over to player 2. That's going to bring player 3 and 1 up to guard player 2. Player 2 is going to pass the ball over to player 3. Player 1 is still continuing over towards this side. And now, player 2, he just made that pass over to player 3, where we want player 2 rolling or cutting towards the rim, and he may be open cutting towards the rim. That's going to collapse the defense, and we may have player 1, or player 2 could have been open for that shot, but we may have player 1 open as well for that 3-point shot because we just swung the ball around. Or the other option is we are still in our triangle, and because we swung the ball around, player 1 may be open just anyways in general, and that's going to create many open shots. Now, I hope that you enjoyed these 5 triangle basketball plays. If you have, hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you guys again later on today in our second video of the day.